9 months ago he was at Duke. That's what I'm thinking. I think sometimes we put the cart ahead of the horse in a lot of different ways. And this guy's played his 6th game. Like, he is still getting his feet wet in terms of NBA basketball. And you're playing against the best team in the league that can win 70 games. If that's not a recipe for having your first bad game, I'm not sure what is. And if there's a player that physically can give him problems from an athletic standpoint, from a limb standpoint, it's going to be Giannis, because the quickness is there and he's bigger, longer, faster, stronger, and a little more mature, you know, and knows how to work the angles on the floor. And you saw it a couple times. There was a couple of, you know, welcome to the NBA moves, young fella, from Giannis to Zion, which usually happens. I'm not surprised that last night. I don't think that's a demerit on anything that Zion has accomplished so far.
And I don't know if Giannis is stronger, and I'm not even certain if he's faster.
He's got grown man strength.
Sure, and he's so much longer. I mean, Giannis is a freak show. Giannis was about Zion's height when he was drafted, and then he just grew an extra 6 inches his first few years in Milwaukee. This matters nothing to me as far as Zion's future. It's not just that they're the best team in basketball in Milwaukee. They're the best defense by a wide margin, and they are a defense most perfectly set up to stop Zion's game, because everything right now Zion does is at the rim. That first game he played, he hit those 4 threes. He hadn't hit one since. Like, we know that is going to be a work in progress for him. And Brook Lopez, the Brook Lopez 4.0 version that Milwaukee has gotten, has turned into a spectacular rim defender. Giannis might be the best defensive player in basketball, to your point about the length and the quickness, all of that. Like, going into the game, he had taken 60 shots at the rim. He had made 40 of them. That's 67%. Last night, he took 15 shots at the rim. He made 5 of them. And he had 4 long arms meeting him most plays, 2 long arms meeting him some plays. Listen, Zion is not yet one of the 10 best players in basketball. He's already one of the 50 best players in basketball. To me, there's no doubt about that, and you could probably tick that higher. But this is the toughest matchup for any guy of his skill set in the league, because they don't allow points at the rim, and that is right now the only place he's comfortable scoring. And you saw it. I mean, how many arms are meeting him every time he goes? So I'm not – listen, anyone that wants to sell any Zion stock, anyone that, as they were saying before, and I love Ja, wants to trade Ja stock for Zion stock, I'll take the Zion stock. He is going to be a super-duper star in this league. Milwaukee is the best regular season team in the league by a wide margin.
And what does it say, Vinny, that his floor, maybe you saw his floor last night, is still that high compared to other guys who were 6 games into their career?
I think you're saying you might be selling him short. Like, I think he's going to be a top-level player next year.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Just from what you've seen in a very small sample size in terms of his adjustment to the game, in terms of how well he handles his body. Like, everybody talks about, well, he's 6'6", he's 285. Yeah, he's always been 6'6", 285. Like, you know how to negotiate your body around the rim. Just because we're seeing it for the first time and the league is seeing it for the first time, his quickness around the rim, his second jump is something that if you're playing small ball center, which is essentially what he's playing, that's tougher for so many other teams to combat in terms of giving somebody with the quickness to defend him and giving somebody with the athleticism to handle him. So I wouldn't be shocked if we're talking about an all-star player next season.
And, by the way, if people didn't watch the game, the Pelicans had the lead at halftime. It was the third quarter the game totally got away from them. They lost the game by 12, lost third quarter by 18 points. And so Zion, I think, only took 1 field goal to third quarter. It's bad third quarter for them in a game he struggled overall. But the Pelicans, all things considered, honestly, acquitted themselves somewhat well against the best team in basketball.
Is LeBron, Nick, proving that he is still the best player in the NBA in year 17, despite his...
Well, the guy we just talked about, Giannis, is going to win the MVP, and if the vote was today, Vinny has a vote. I horrifically do not. But it would be...
Thankfully,
it would be unanimous, I think. I think Giannis would be unanimous MVP, and throughout the course of an 82-game regular season, I think Giannis is the guy you would want, because he is so much younger. He does so many more. He does everything except for shoot the 3 at a super high level. But if you define best player by who would every GM, whether they want to admit it or not, want to have still come playoffs, of course it's LeBron. In the regular season, he's the 2nd or 3rd best player in basketball. We were talking about MVP voting. He right now would be 2nd or 3rd on most people's ballots up to this point. But there is not another guy in the league, Giannis included, until Giannis shows it to us, and I think maybe he will as soon as this year, that he can do it in 4 consecutive rounds, there's not another player in basketball you'd want over this guy. And that is, to me, inarguable. I don't know if you agree or not. If you don't, I'm very curious who you would say, because what he does every single night is find exactly what his team needs to put them in the best position to win. If it's defer, if it's attack, if it's lock in defensively, and he is showing no letdown in year 17 after his first year with a significant injury.
I think that what you're saying, in theory, is correct as far as him being the ultimate Swiss Army knife. Like, he can assess whatever the situation is and be able to, in his computerized brain, be able to give you what you need by and large. And on a given night, I think he can be the best player in basketball. Every night, I can't say that in year 17, there's no precedent for it. Michael, Magic, Bird were all gone.
By now.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had already started the steep decline and had Magic Johnson there.
Karl Malone was excellent, and Kobe was very good until he popped his Achilles. Those are the only guys in year 17 who've done anything close to what LeBron's doing.
I will take umbrage with you even bringing Karl Malone into this conversation. Just
okay, fair. We don't have to have a Karl Malone debate.
Don't we have to do that? But what I will say is this: if there's a game, I may take LeBron. If it's a playoff series, and I think that's a completely different conversation, there's a couple players that I may take above him, including your guy Kawhi.
You wouldn't.
Just because he brings it on both ends. There are two totally different players.
He doesn't guard the other team's best player anymore. He stands in the corner. I watched him play the Rockets. He's in the corner on PJ Tucker. He's not guarding James Harden. Come on, hold on. What Kawhi are we talking about now? The Kawhi that has to do everything for the Clippers offensively, and has done it and has been exceptional. He occasionally will guard the other team's best player. He ain't locking down the other team's best player. That's not his job there. That's not what they've asked him to do there.
Well, here's what I'm saying, Nick, and here's the thing. It's not smart to have your best player who's carrying the load do that. But the fact that you can stick Kawhi on another team's best player and he puts him on punishment, to me, that's something that
LeBron can do that.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Not at this stage of his career anymore. I think that's too much. That's too much to ask. LeBron is not Superman. He's not this unbreakable figure. When LeBron was in Miami, if we're talking about 2013 LeBron, absolutely, that might be the best player I've ever seen, sans Michael Jordan. But year 17 LeBron, not that level of defensive player.
You think the Western Conference Finals are going to be Clippers-Lakers, right?
Yes. So
if before the finals, the Clippers and Lakers flip-flopped LeBron for Kawhi, you think the Lakers would be better and the Clippers would be worse? Do you think that? Because that's a series.
No, I don't think that, because the Lakers are built around LeBron and the Clippers are built around what Kawhi will be available to do. It's
kind of built on the fly, but okay, sure.
But you're building a team around what you expect the best of Kawhi.
So you'd rather have Kawhi in a playoff series than LeBron?
At this stage?
Okay.
At this stage?
That's fascinating.
Can I ask you guys a question? Could the Lakers win if LeBron is the best player on the team, or would they need Anthony Davis, do you think, at the end?
No, LeBron has to be the best player. Anthony Davis has to be a way overqualified Robin in a playoff series until we see Anthony do it. We've got to see Anthony do it in a playoff series. He's got to be like LeBron. The Lakers' path to a championship, it's simple, but it's hard. LeBron has to be the best player in the postseason, as he's been every year for the last 9. The best player in the postseason. And while you're falling all over yourself about what Kawhi did last postseason, I am old enough to remember the last postseason LeBron played in when he averaged 34, 9, and 9, hit 2 game-winning shots, had a 45-point Game 7, had a 36, 15, and 9 Game 7, and had a 51, 8, and 8 against KD and the Warriors. A healthy KD and the Warriors, by the way, which, of course, Kawhi didn't have to go against. So, but that's cool. I'm excited that you'll take Kawhi. I think it's a really fascinating take.
A lot can change in 2 years.
A lot yeah.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.